Hi, everybody. Miss Melinda here, your spiritual worker from MissMelindasMetaphysicalServices.com, here for our live spirit chat, which happens once a week. Hi, Linda's daughter. Nice to see you. And this is a chance for you to participate in a group coaching session and get your questions answered concerning developing your spiritual connection, developing your spiritual path, and developing your spiritual practice. So this is a live Q&A, and you can feel free to throw your questions out there. I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And for these live spirit chats, I always schedule them in advance. They take place on YouTube and they take place on Instagram. On YouTube, they're always scheduled in advance, and on Instagram, they're announced a couple of days in advance. And I always accept early bird submissions for the questions, meaning that you can submit your questions early, and then those questions will be the first questions that I address at the beginning of each session. So today I only have a couple of pre-submitted questions. I expected it to be a little bit slow, maybe because of the holiday weekend. I hope everyone, or a lot of people, are out having fun and doing outdoor activities. My days off are going to be tomorrow and Tuesday. So anyway, nice to see you all. Yeah, I am a blonde. Is that a surprise? Nice to see you all here. Thank you for coming. Hi, welcome from Brazil. Nice to see you. So feel free to put your questions out there, and then when I'm done with my early submission questions or my early bird questions, I will address your live questions, and I think there's going to be lots of time today to do that. Hi, Christina. Thank you for your well wishes. Thank you for being here. Hi, Linda. Thank you for the beautiful flowers. I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, Linda's daughter, you're so sweet. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so the early bird questions. What have we got here? First, I'm going to do my announcements. So my first announcement is that I'm having a sale on readings. All of my readings are currently 25% off using the coupon code Aquarius. And they are going to be 25% off through tomorrow, through Monday. So at the end of the night on Monday, or perhaps on Tuesday morning, I'm going to end that sale. So use the code Aquarius when you check out. Just enter that in before you place your payment, and you will get 25% off on all readings at MissMelindasMetaphysicalServices.com. Also, I have a new moon service coming up on June 3rd. That's going to be dedicated to St. Anthony. And those services, those group services, my full moon services and my new moon services, are group spiritual services, and they take place through my monthly subscription packages or my Patreon page. So if you're interested in joining those, please drop me a line. I'm happy to give you more details and explain to you how it works, or answer any questions that you might have. Those spaces are limited. So the first question that I received is, if I am seeing 1111 and 111 on an almost daily basis, how can I figure out what this means? So this is someone who's experiencing some synchronicity, some repetition of numbers, specifically with the number 1. So the first thing that I always say about this kind of sign is that, just generally speaking, you can definitely take it as a sign that your spirit guides, your guardian angels, are saying to you, hey, I'm here, look at this, I'm sending you signs, don't worry, I've got your back. Whatever is happening in your life right now is being guided. The guidance is there for you. They're trying to reach out to you. They're trying to remind you or let you know that they're there, and that all you have to do is try to connect to them, or try to communicate with them, or try to reach out to them in your way so that you can get more guidance from them. But generally speaking, they're saying, you're headed in the right direction, we've got your back, and we are guiding you, we're helping you with this stuff in your life right now. Now, going a little bit deeper, what I recommend for what people commonly call angel numbers these days, right? Every time we see those repetitions of numbers or numbers in 3s and 4s, people commonly call them angel numbers. I refer back to the old school method of numerology. So I recommend doing some research into numerology to decipher the numbers of meanings. And then the fact that the meanings of numbers, I mean, and the fact that they are repeated in 3s can be seen as just strengthening the original definition or meaning of that number in numerology. So let's take a closer look at that. The number 1 in numerology is associated with fresh starts, new beginnings, independence, individuality, individual expression, leadership, things of that nature, all things associated with the number 1. So this could be leading you towards a fresh start in your life, a new beginning, telling you, hey, if you're thinking about making a change, yes, you're right. It is the time to make that change. It's time to take a leap of faith. It's time to go in a new direction. It's time to act on your inspiration. It's time to act in an independent way. It's time to really tune into your self-sovereignty, to really take advantage of the opportunities that are there for you, etc. These are all things that the number 1 are related to. Now, the number 1 is one of those rare numbers in numerology, which can also be seen in double digits. So it is also recognized at times as the number 11. And the number 11 is about being on our soul's path. The number 11 is about really truly being in our authenticity, really coming into our own in the way of what we have to express to the world, what message we have to bring to the world, what purpose we have in terms of our own fulfillment, as well as being able to be a positive influence over others and really bring to others what it is they are seeking, and have the ability to make a difference in the world in that way through the authentic expression of our own inspiration, our own knowledge, our own unique perspective. So those are some of the things that the number 11 are about. Now, as I was saying, with the number 1 being repeated in such a way in 3s and 4s, you can just see that as I'm really trying to drive home the message. It's just a way to get our attention. Repeating that number is a way of strengthening the meaning of that number, and it's also a way to get our attention. But if you wanted to go a little bit deeper into that, then I would suggest that when you're doing your research about numerology, you check into the meaning of the number 3 and the meaning of the number 4, and then combine that with the meaning of the number 1 and the meaning of the number 11, and how this is appearing to you. Hi, catch these empath vibes. Nice to see you. Chanel Currit, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, so the next question that I have for my early bird submissions is twin flame separation a real thing? I can't imagine ever separating from mine. So this is an interesting question for me because I don't believe in twin flames the way that the idea of twin flames is currently being perpetuated and the way that it's being sensationalized. I think that there are a lot of ideas associated with this that are unhealthy. I think that this is a concept that is being taken out of context and blown out of proportion. I think that it's the idea of twin flames has taken on a life of its own, and that we have to be really careful with ideas such as this that can lead us into unhealthy ideas about love and unhealthy relationships, right? So I believe that the concept of twin flames being separated, that's from my understanding and the research that I've done, that's usually a concept that people apply to twin flames not being together in the first place and having a hard time getting together. And that is something that I find to be a dangerous concept. because there are a lot of other things that people are implying along with that idea. They often say that in the beginning of a twin flame connection or twin flame relationship, that there's a lot of challenges and obstacles and hardship, and that these are for the purpose of both of you going through some kind of a purification purpose in order to spiritually evolve so that you can be together. Now, we can easily see how this is a dangerous concept that may give people the excuse to stay in an unhealthy situation and to undergo a lot of hardship and a lot of difficulty in a relationship, which is simply not good for them, not healthy for them, and not meant for them. So I just want to throw that out there. I think the idea of twin flames can be a dangerous idea. The other thing about twin flames that I have come to understand, and I haven't researched it super extensively, to be honest, but I have done some research on it. And the main concept is that your twin flame is somebody who is made from the same spark of life, the same spark of soul energy, or the same piece of universal energy that you are made from. The reason I don't believe this is because we are all made from the same stuff. We all come from the same universal energy. We all come from the same spark of life. This is a core belief in any spiritual tradition across the world, across history, throughout time. We all come from the same place and we all return to the same place. I do not believe that there is just one person out there that is going to somehow make you whole. There's not one person out there that is supposed to be your other half. We are whole unto ourselves. We don't need to be seeking a mirror to our own souls in order to become whole, in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled. This idea of a twin flame perpetuates the idea of constantly searching, constantly seeking, and not being able to be happy until we find this one perfect other mirror of our souls in order to balance us, fill us, and make us whole. I don't believe in that. I do believe that everybody has an innate need and longing for love and partnership, and to be a witness to each other's lives, to have a witness to your life, to have somebody to share your happy and healthy life with. I do believe that a longing for love and partnership and somebody to witness and experience your life with is a natural, normal, healthy thing. I do not believe that this other person is intended to make you whole or make you happy or make you complete. Those responsibilities are yours and yours alone. And in fact, if you do not attend to those responsibilities of making yourself whole and healthy and complete and happy on your own, then you will not be able to be in a relationship that is whole and healthy and happy. Those are some of the basic premises of why I don't believe in twin flames in the way that twin flames are being currently perpetuated in some circles and specifically online. Now, I do believe in soulmates. I don't believe that there's only one soulmate out there for us. I believe that there can be many different soulmates. I believe that a soulmate is somebody who helps us to learn the lessons that we're supposed to learn, who helps us with our self-awareness, who helps us with our growth, and who in turn we help with those things. I believe that a soulmate is somebody that we learn lessons from and that we teach lessons to, and that it is our task to grow and learn and change and develop together and to support each other in that spiritual growth. And there are many different types of soulmates. They're not all romantic relationships, and there can be multiple romantic relationships that are soulmates throughout one lifetime as well. So those are my views on love from a spiritual perspective, my basic views on love from a spiritual perspective, especially pertaining to twin flames and soulmates. So I guess that answers the question, which was, is twin flame separation a real thing? And I can't imagine ever separating from mine. I don't believe in that because I don't believe in the basic premises of twin flames in the first place. So that was actually all of my early bird questions that were submitted today. So I can start taking some of your live questions. And then I have some topics and some things that I can talk about as well. I came prepared today because I expected that maybe people are out having barbecues, having a good time at the park, whatever it may be. The first question that I have on YouTube is, what is a substitute for graveyard dirt if a recipe calls for it? So a great substitute, one that I prefer, is patchouli. I use patchouli bark, and what patchouli bark is the whole plant. It is the root, the branches, the leaves, everything from the plant. Now, if you want it to have a feel or a look like graveyard dust, then you can use just the fine dust that kind of falls to the bottom of the patchouli bark. Patchouli is one of those herbs that has dual purposes. It is one that is used for both curse breaking as well as placing curses, and it is an herb that is associated with love as well as money. So it has multiple purposes. It's also a precipitato, which means that it enhances the power and energy of other ingredients that you use. It works as a catalyst for the energy in a working or in a spell, kind of driving the energy of the other ingredients, bringing them together cohesively and strengthening them and energizing their inherent powers. That is the main substitution that I prefer. Now, if you want to get a bit more complicated, you can use different kinds of dust or dirts from all over the place. If the problem is not that you don't want to use dirt in general, but that you specifically don't want to use graveyard dirt, there's a lot of other kinds of dirt that you can use. For example, crossroads dust or dirt is going to be very powerful. You can use dust or dirt from a courthouse, from a police station, from a church, all kinds of different things, and you're just going to use the general symbolism associated with those places in order to place meaning on that dirt or to connect with the energy of that dirt. So for instance, crossroads dirt, the crossroad represents the place between the worlds, between the material world and the spiritual world. It represents the place where magic takes place, right? So crossroads dirt can be used for all kinds of different things associated with enhancing magic, also associated with tuning into the spirit world, communicating with the spirit world, giving something to the spirit world, either as an offering or that you need to get rid of, or having an exchange with the spirit world where you're bringing something from the spirit world, right? Of course, a police station is going to be like protection, or for any matters associated with that kind of law. A courthouse is going to be for anything associated with court cases or justice, or when you need hierarchy and structure. A church is going to be for spiritual connection and for that kind of protection, etc. So you can also substitute other kinds of dirts. Let me see if there are any questions on Instagram, and then I'll move back to these questions on YouTube. So I want to know a couple of things. First, since I've been on my journey with being a beginner witch, I felt lost mentally, and I'm shedding my old self and old habits. I used to drink a lot. Okay, well, that's normal. That's very normal. Here's one thing to keep in mind that might be helpful. When we're going through a transformation or a transition, and we have to get rid of our old selves, we come into a place of emptiness. But think about this. Space is empty, and it created the universe. The womb is empty, and it creates children. A space of emptiness is a fertile space that you need to be in so that you can create something new, so that you can birth your new self. The space of emptiness is temporary. It will be replaced with new, fresh growth. This is like the period of incubation where you are a seed in the deep, dark earth alone, and you have not yet sprouted what is new and what is to come. So try to embrace the emptiness as possibility, as potential, as the beginning of rebirth instead of the end of something old. And let me know if you have specific questions, because you say that you want to know a couple of things, but I don't see any specific questions. So let me know what those are. You are amazing always. Thank you so much. Help me a lot. You are so welcome. I'm really glad to be of assistance, and I'm really appreciative of your support and of our connection. So thank you for being here. Okay, so I see 1005 all the time. It's my birthday. Could my mother be trying to reach out to me, as she would know that number, of course, means something special that would definitely get my attention? Yeah, of course. And what I'm getting from this is that you have the intuition. You have somehow received the message through your intuition or some other way that this repetition of this specific number is your mother reaching out to you. So I'm here to tell you that your intuition is correct, that your message is correct. We can confirm that right now. What you feel that it is right. You can trust your intuition. Where do you think is a good place to dispose of offerings for Santa Muerte? I was thinking a park. Yes, for many different kinds of spirits and deities, someplace in nature would be a wonderful place to dispose of offerings. Now, I would put the caveat in there that this is as long as the offerings are natural and biodegradable. I don't perpetuate any kind of littering. You could also do a crossroads for Santa Muerte. You could also do a gate to a cemetery. You could also find a shrine to her in your local area. But yes, a park would be a wonderful place. Any place like by a stream or by a tree, something that calls to you and feels right to you would be perfect. Anything else here? I battle with God and being a witch. Well, that also is something that is normal for people who are who have been Christians or are Christians. And what I have to say about that is that it's going to take some work for you to release the indoctrination, release the ideas that you have absorbed and believed over time. It's time for you to come into a new way of thinking. And the first and foremost important thing for you to understand is that spirituality and religion are one thing, and a practice is another thing. So the practice of magic does not in and of itself dictate any kind of spiritual belief or any kind of religion. These are separate. The practice of magic can be done with and without any kind of religion or spiritual belief. You can definitely still believe in God or still be a Christian and also practice magic, right? And your definition of God can change, and it doesn't mean that you don't believe in God anymore. So that's something that you can certainly work out within yourself over time, but you're going to have to get over the indoctrination of the church and get over the guilt, and if that takes exposing yourself to some new ideas and some new concepts of Christianity, I would recommend that you seek out new examples of Christianity. Literally seek out new examples of Christianity, because there are all kinds of ways to be a Christian, and it doesn't have to mean feeling guilty over your practices or feeling guilty over your new spiritual awakening or your new spiritual beliefs. Perhaps it would be pertinent for you to attend a Unitarian Universalist church, something of that nature. It's time to embrace new ideas. My friend collected graveyard dirt from a doctor's grave for my husband to use for his ill health. She collected it properly, so any reason to worry? Can he sprinkle it on a candle like a powder? Okay, first of all, no reason to worry, okay? If she collected it properly, then I would take that to mean that she has developed a relationship with the doctor. She's left offerings for the doctor. She's asked the doctor if it was okay to take his dirt. She's asked the doctor if it was okay to work with him. And the responses that she got were positive. That means the spirit is happy to help and happy to enter into a relationship with you all. There is absolutely no reason to worry. You can sprinkle it on a candle like a powder, but you will have to be very conservative. It's not the same as sprinkling an herbal powder. It's not going to burn very well. Don't get it near the wick, and just sprinkle a tiny bit of it because it will affect the burn of the candle. What I would recommend more is to put the dirt in the base of a candle holder or bowl, and then put the candle in there with the dirt around it, right? You can also use that dirt then to put in some kind of a charm bag or a mojo bag, something of that nature after you burn your candle. I have heard many videos about seeing auras in like minutes. I wonder if that is all real or just a way for making videos and gaining subscribers. So I feel like it can be real, but I feel like you already have to have a propensity towards clairvoyance. And, a propensity towards being able to have visions and being able to tune into your own sense of vision as a way of spiritual connection, and or be somebody who already has a tendency towards a natural inclination to tune into energy. I definitely believe that these kinds of spiritual gifts and these kinds of psychic abilities are something that is inherent within all of us, and that we can develop them. I don't know that we can develop them in minutes. In my experience, it takes more time and more practice than that to develop. Also, in my experience, it's better to start with what you already have a strong natural inclination towards, and then start developing that. But you can definitely develop your abilities. Good uses for coffin nails. What are good uses for coffin nails? Good uses for coffin nails are for protection. They are made out of iron. Iron is for protection. That is what coffin nails are most commonly used in folk magic. You can also use coffin nails to assist you with nailing down a problem, nailing down something that you need to stay put, something that you need to not move, something that you need to make stand still so that it does not interfere with your life anymore. So you can use coffin nails to nail down a solution to a problem, to nail down an enemy. Now, when I say enemy, I don't use things like that lightly. I don't consider just anyone who you don't like to be an enemy. This would be a serious situation. But these are some of the things you could use coffin nails for. My mother and I see spirits. We always have these weird gifts of seeing spirits. During her illness with cancer, this black cat spirit showed up, and it would be in her house and mine. Do you know what the spirit is? We didn't see it towards the end of her illness. So a black cat is, generally speaking, a representation of good luck, a representation of mystery, a representation of kind of a representation of the other worlds, a representation of the spirit world. So basically, this cat was most likely showing up to let you know that a portal was opening to the spirit world, and that your mother and you were able to communicate with the spirit world at that time, also letting you know that you have the ability to seek the mystery beyond the veil, the mystery of the unseen world, that you were open to at that time, especially open to receiving messages and connection and interaction with the world beyond the veil. A black cat is also just good luck in general. She passed away last year. Myself, my mom, and my aunt had all had certain gifts. Congratulations. Magic opens doors to disbelief and evil. Okay. My candle to her had black soot today. Are you talking about Santa Muerte? Is this, oh, this is Yadi. Okay. And she's talking about Santa Muerte. 1 second, y'all. My candle to her had black soot today. When it went out, I wondered if that's a negative sign, but I don't feel negativity from her. No, it's not necessarily a negative sign, but it can be a sign that that there's some kind of blockage or obstacle to the situation. I don't think that you were asking her for anything specific or burning that candle for a spell. I know because we've talked about this already. But it can be showing you that there's something that needs to be cleansed or cleared in order to open a clear connection and a clear channel with her, right? Black soot is typically indicating that there's some kind of blockage or obstacle. So now it's your job to figure out where that blockage or obstacle lies. This is an energetic or spiritual blockage or obstacle, and something that can be cleansed or shifted in order to have a stronger connection with her. She came to me while I meditated a few days ago and covered me with her cloak to protect me. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. You're right. I did not want to use graveyard dirt. Yeah, you're welcome. No worries. Okay. Anything else over here? Should I tell people that you date, you're a witch? You mean, should you tell people that you date, that you're a witch? Yeah, absolutely. You want them to know who you are, right? You want them to like you for who you are, and you want to lead a life that is authentic. You want to be real. You want to be yourself. Why not start with that kind of foundation of your relationship right from the very beginning? If they don't approve of you, they're not the right person for you, and you're not going to have a strong, authentic, joyful connection with them anyway when you find out later down the road that they don't approve of you, or when they find out this big surprise that you're a witch and they're not comfortable with that. So yeah, be upfront right from the beginning and have faith that you're going to attract the right person to you. There are definitely people out there who are going to accept you, who are going to support your practices and support your beliefs, and you certainly want that kind of joyful, authentic exchange between two people. I saw doves the weekend after doing a love spell, one flying past my car and then one landed on my back fence. It was crazy to me because I've seen plenty of birds in the backyard, but never a dove. Yeah, definitely sounds like a sign associated with your spell. I think that that's what you're wondering. Was it a sign associated with your spell? I certainly think that it was. I think that you can certainly trust your intuition in this circumstance. I think you have that intuition and that you should go with it. You should trust how you are feeling. We will often see signs pertaining to a spell within 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months. And I feel that this is what you have experienced. Thank you for always answering my questions. You always are so professional and amazing. You are so very welcome, Linda's daughter. I appreciate you being here. Okay, what else is going on over here? For health, what color candle do you suggest? Or would you suggest St. Lazaro? Yeah, St. Lazarus is great for health-related issues. He's specifically great for another area of health-related issues that he's wonderful for is when you have to deal with like insurance or bureaucracy with the medical industry, or you want to make sure that you get a good doctor that you have a nice rapport with, things of this nature. So some of the logistics that go along with medical issues as well. He certainly can assist with healing. He can also assist with transition or transformation. So, his color is yellow. So going with that, you can definitely use a plain yellow candle for health. Yellow is related to vibrancy and vitality and personal power. Other colors that you can use for health. So the thing is, it really depends on what aspect of the health you want to work on. So if you want to work specifically on healing, then I would suggest the color blue. If you wanted to work specifically on energizing and vitality and vibrancy and just like personal vitality, then I would recommend the color yellow. Now you could combine those. You could burn a blue candle for healing and then go ahead and burn your yellow candle for vitality afterwards, or you could burn them together. There are other aspects to consider. For instance, green is a wonderful color for health that would be very much related to the heart chakra. It would be very much related to healing in that way. So like if you thought that your health issue had something to do with something emotional, or it was tied in with emotionals, or you thought maybe it had something to do with old trauma or post-traumatic stress or things of that nature, then you could use green. So I'm just giving some examples because there are a lot of different kinds of nuances that you could consider within a larger topic that would help you really hone in on what aspect of this you want to focus on. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you. I'm talking to Becca Ponce. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to do some housekeeping here. You've probably seen that there's been all kinds of interesting comments today. Hi. Welcome from Los Angeles. Thanks for being here. Okay, so for those of you who haven't been here before, our live spirit chat happens once a week. It happens on YouTube and Instagram. It's scheduled in advance on YouTube. It's announced a couple of days in advance on Instagram. On Instagram is where I always accept my early bird questions, which I answer at the top of the hour as soon as we begin the live spirit chat. Live spirit chat is a chance for you to participate in a free group coaching session and get your questions answered pertaining to developing your spiritual connection, developing your spiritual path, and developing your spiritual practice, as well as all kinds of things related in between. So I'm always happy to answer your questions to the best of my ability. And thank you all for being here today. There's some new faces and there's some lovely faces. And I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate all of your interesting questions. I really enjoy interacting with you, and I really enjoy having this time together. I am not from LA. No, I am not from Los Angeles. I'm from Michigan and I live in Texas. Is spirituality a lifestyle choice? Absolutely, spirituality is a lifestyle choice. So there's a lot of things that I could comment on within that context. Like, first of all, I wonder if you're asking, is it a choice which affects your entire lifestyle? And to that question, I would say absolutely. And then the second thing I wonder is, are you asking if spirituality is a choice in the first place? And I do think that it is a choice, but I also think that some people have a larger propensity towards a natural inclination towards spirituality, or a natural inclination towards spiritual connection. I don't necessarily think that everybody feels that, right? So, but if you don't feel it, you can still choose to. So there's a lot of different things within that question we could discuss. And if you have any follow-up questions, please let me know. Okay. I get very emotional when I hear you because I feel good and I think I have to be honest, but have so much to say. I think I will make a video or live video. Maybe you will understand and help me, which, okay. I think it's time. You need so much to explain to me. You are an angel, and I'm going to make a live video as soon as possible. Well, thank you. I'm really glad to be of assistance. I'm glad that is helpful for you. What's a good spiritual bath? So it depends on what purpose you will be taking the spiritual bath for. I have a favorite spiritual bath that I prefer, which is good for overall spiritual or energetic cleansing. So this is good when we just want to start fresh or have some kind of a fresh start or some kind of a change in our lives. It's also good for when we've been through something recently that was emotional or traumatic or difficult, or we've just been feeling kind of down, or we just know that it's time for a spiritual cleanse, right? Because over time, energy can kind of build up within us and around us, and it's good to have a spiritual cleanse as a normal part of our routine. So my favorite bath is a citrus bath, and what you do is you take a lot of citrus. You take a lot of limes and lemons. I recommend more limes than lemons. You can also use oranges if you would like to. And you use a citrus press and you fresh squeeze those into your bath water. And if you want to add intensity to this, I recommend adding some kosher sea salt. Like half a cup is good, even a quarter cup is enough to your bath water. And most or many spiritual baths, especially in specific traditions, recommend that your bath is not too hot. They recommend that it's room temperature. However, for this bath, I prefer it to be nice and hot to really add to that energy of purification. And you squeeze as many of those citruses into your water as you would like. Now, obviously, if you squeeze a lot, then you're going to be a little bit sticky when you get out. But, hi, Tina. But you don't want to rinse off if you can at all avoid it. You want to instead air dry. So it's good to try to get a balance in your bath water so that you're not too sticky and you can air dry. Don't use any soap in your spiritual bath, right? So you should already be clean. You should already have clean hair, a clean body. If you need to take your normal shower first, then go ahead and do that. And then you get in your spiritual bath with all of the citrus juice and all of the salt, and maybe say some prayers or focus on some meditations or some affirmations, maybe light some white candles, do whatever kind of added activities you feel most drawn to and that will enhance the experience for you. Dunk your head under that water at least 3 times. Stay in your bath at least 20 minutes. And then when you get out, air dry. You can do the citrus bath for as many times as you would like to. Traditionally, it's recommended in sets of 3. So you can do it 3, 6, or 9 times in a row, or once a week for 3, 6, or 9 weeks. And that's my favorite simple bath for kind of energetic clearing and cleansing. Okay. I think I'm going through an existential crisis. What would you recommend? Well, that's a big question. But to really get down to the basics, I would recommend just starting a meditation process or practice. And the reason why is because meditation brings clarity to our minds and it brings peace to us. It changes our brain waves and makes us clearer, more peaceful, more calm, and it assists us with seeing things and understanding things in a different way, including ourselves and our own emotions. So, because I don't know exactly what your existential crisis relates to, or maybe what kinds of questions are arising pertaining to your life or your life choices because of this existential crisis, then I don't have very specific recommendations. But if you start a meditation practice, you're going to gain more clarity, you're going to gain more centeredness, you're going to gain more balance. And don't put a lot of pressure on yourself with a meditation practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody knows how to do it in the beginning. It's called a practice for a reason. We have to practice in order to learn how to do it. Also, there's a lot of different kinds of meditations out there. So don't get sucked into the idea that meditation is only one thing and that it's only about, clearing your mind and thinking about nothing, or that it's only about focusing on one thing. There's lots of different ways to meditate. You can do guided meditations, walking meditations. So experiment with what kind of meditation will work for you until you find one that works for you, and then practice it. I definitely think that it will help you gain clarity and figure out the answers to some of your questions, as well as gain your own inner guidance, right, from your core self. That's really going to help you make the kinds of decisions that you need to make going forward in your life, because it sounds to me like you're in transition, so you probably have some questions about where to go from here. You're at a crossroads, and meditation will help. Hi, thanks for joining. Where can Himalayan salt be sprinkled for home protection? Someone mentioned outside the corners of the home, anything recommended to protect me from jealousy and gossip to destroy my home medical business. Yeah, if you're dealing with gossip, I recommend a Tapaboca candle, which is a shut up candle. That stops gossip. Also, you can definitely put the salt outside of your house, and at the four corners is a great place, or at the four corners of your business would be more pertinent in this situation. But be careful where you sprinkle salt, because it will kill grass, it will kill plants. Okay, so be careful with that. And if you really want to hone in on the energy of protection, then I would recommend black salt rather than just plain white salt. And black salt is used for banishing, and that is why I recommend this, so that you can not only protect yourself, but you need to banish this jealousy and gossip that is already going on. You need to take care of what's already happening. I see you use the same Madama that I have, and I love working with her. Me too. One thing, I've been meaning to make a video about the Madama spirits, because one misconception that people have is that it's just one spirit, and in fact it's a family of spirits. And then when you're working with her, you find the one spirit within that family that connects to you, and that's usually a spirit that is specific to you, right? So that's just an interesting tidbit about the Madama spirits. I think you missed my earlier question while cleaning out the trolls. What do you recommend I do to figure out the blockage that may be there from the black soot? Oh yeah, thank you, Yadi. I did miss that. I don't recommend that you have to figure out exactly what the blockage is now. I think if it's something specific, especially something specific that she wants you to know about, then she will make it known. I know that you're developing very strongly and very quickly in your spiritual practice, and I know that you receive clear messages. So I think if you need to know what it is, she'll let you know. But what I do specifically recommend is that you just do some spiritual cleansing for yourself at this time. And really, that is the first and foremost important advice for any time we encounter any kind of spiritual blockage or obstacle within our spell work or in any place. If we start with cleansing ourselves, then most often that's going to take care of the problem, or at least begin to take care of the problem. So do a spiritual cleansing for yourself and see, and then try again, light another candle for her and see if that makes a difference. And do like a bath and coupled with a cleansing candle, something of that nature. The person who did my birth chart thinks I should look into a mediumship or learn divination. I'm a Pisces, but these gifts have not come naturally yet. I'm 31. Do you think I could still learn? Absolutely. You can still learn at any age. If you feel like it doesn't come naturally to you, then I wouldn't go specifically based on what someone who did your chart says. I would pay attention to your intuition about it and what you specifically feel drawn to. And then also keep in mind that divination doesn't have to be this very specific practice that we have come to most often think of it as. It doesn't have to be cards. It doesn't have to be runes. It doesn't have to be pendulums. It doesn't have to be spirit boards. There's lots and lots of different ways to do divination. And sometimes without any tools, or astrology is a form of divination, for example. Nature oracles are a form of divination. There's lots of different ways to practice divination. So if you're not feeling drawn from it now, just keep in mind that there could be other practices that you don't yet know about, haven't been exposed to, that you do feel drawn to. Follow your own intuition and what you are most drawn to. And 31 is definitely not too late to learn. And on a spiritual practice, we need to be dedicated to learning all of our lives. So you're going to keep learning and keep being open to learning is what I recommend. Let's see. I've been in the social work field for a few years now, and I feel frustrated at work. Within the last 35 days, I'm rethinking what I'm doing, but I know my purpose is to assist with support and healing. I feel lost and confused within my journey, but I love my field, but I feel like quitting my job. Okay, well, I'm sorry that you're feeling lost. It seems like you're ready for a change and that you know you're ready for a change, so you need to listen to yourself and then figure out what change is going to really be best for your overall purpose, because you might not have to change your whole field. Maybe you can just change the place you work. Maybe you can change some of the duties. Maybe you can change the team that you're on. There's lots of different ways that you could change without necessarily giving up your whole purpose or your whole field. But the main thing I'm getting from this is that your intuition is telling you you need a change. So figure out how you can do that, and figure out how you can do that sooner rather than later, so that the universe doesn't have to come in and push you towards that change or help you with that change. How long should you burn your candles when doing spells and just cleansing? And do you blow them out or smother them? Right, so you never blow out a candle, because we're respecting the spirit of the flame. We're respecting fire as a spirit in and of itself. I won't have time to talk about spell writing. I've been on for 51 minutes, and that's a big topic that I'm not going to have time to get into. But don't ever blow out a candle. You need to snuff it out, right? So you can do that by putting something over the top of the candle or using a cup or a candle snuffer to snuff out the flame. We respect the spirit of the flame as a spirit entity in and of itself, as a living being. So we don't blow it out. And you don't blow out a flame until your candle or your spell is complete. So if you wanted to end your spell, even though your candle isn't fully extinguished, then you would blow that flame out and end your spell. Otherwise, you wait until your candle fully extinguishes. And that's when the spell is complete. But how long you burn your candle depends on you and depends on the spell or the candle that you're using. So the general rule is that you want to burn your candle until it's fully extinguished. You can, but you don't have to burn it continuously. Most people are going to traditionally say that you have to burn it continuously in order for the spell to be effective. I put my candles out and relight them the next day. I don't burn candles unattended. It's not safe. So you do not have to burn your candles continuously. You can put them out and relight them, and you can burn them for as long as you need to until the spell is fully extinguished. We're going to be logging off soon because we've been on for 53 minutes. So let me see what else I can address. Yaddy, I'm actually buying some supplies, plants to a bitter and sweet bath. Yeah, that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect, Yaddy. Oh, thank you, Big Oak. They say good luck with the positive channel, Melinda. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And Yaddy is asking, are madamas similar to gitanas? I'm forgetting, is it gitana or gitana? Gitana, I think it's gitana. My Spanish is bad. They are similar, but they are much different. It is a different family of spirits, for sure. Everyone wants to hear more about La Madama. I am planning to make a whole video dedicated just to her, so stay tuned. Keep watching for that. I'm not going to get into all of it right now because it's a big topic, but I will make that video. It's on my to-do list. Hi, thanks for being here. Well, thanks everyone for being here today. It's been really great. All of your questions have been wonderful and inspiring and stimulating, and we've had a really great conversation. I love interacting with you. I love your participation, and I love all of your questions, and I appreciate your support. I'm going to have to log off soon. I have a special needs child who is usually covered with Medi-Cal. We were told this insurance would be discontinued. Who do I recommend to petition to help with this situation? I recommend that you petition St. Lazarus. He is the perfect spirit for dealing with medical insurance, everything related to medical bureaucracy, bureaucratic healthcare, paperwork, the medical industry, the insurance industry, all of that, St. Lazarus for sure. And I'm sorry to hear that you're having this trouble with your healthcare and with your child. And I'm wishing you all the best. I hope this gets cleared up for you quickly and smoothly and for the highest good of everyone. Okay, I'm going to log off of Instagram. Thank you so much, everybody. Like I said, I really appreciate you. Have a safe and blessed weekend. And stay blessed. Thank you. I'm still here on YouTube. I'm going to see if there's anything else that I need to address before logging off. I don't think I missed any questions. So thanks so much for being here, everybody. Thank you for all of your questions and your participation. I really appreciate seeing all of the new faces. I really appreciate the support. I love your questions, and I look forward to interacting with you. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and stay blessed, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you, Tina. Bye.